Hey guys, today's exercise is called the deadbug, and there's a million different variations on this, and that's kind of the point of it. The idea is that we need to learn how to recreate tension through our abdomen while also trying to coordinate maybe like our rib cage and our pelvis together and freestyling some movement with our legs and arms. And that makes it applicable to lots of areas of the body. So if you've had any back stuff in the past, hip, shoulder, even neck, you might find that this exercise is useful for you. So have a watch this video and give it a go. So with the deadbug, it's a bit tricky at first to figure out some of the nuances, but at the same time we don't want to like overload you with thinking about different variables. The key thing would be that if you're getting some pain, we're going to regress and find an easier version. We want to try and stay away from painful loops, so doing movements that create pain, because then you become a bit apprehensive to those movements, and we'd like to encourage non-painful loops so that you feel a bit more inclined to do those movements and experience them in a beneficial way, so that you can then progress into harder exercises, harder being maybe more load or maybe some more complexity, more variables, things to think about. So very straightforward to set up to begin with. You're just going to lay on the ground. And the tricky part at first, and I recommend probably a towel, would be putting the towel, see where your ribs kind of pop up right here? I'd put a towel just under that spot. So my hand's acting as the towel right now, and I'm going to squish my hand into the ground. Now I'm not doing that with a lot of effort, maybe 10-15% effort. For some of you, you might feel your neck tighten up when you do that. You might feel like you stop breathing comfortably. So just use an effort that allows you to still feel like there's a sense of comfort here, but that you're working a little bit hard. Don't think too much about body parts though, just try and squish the towel down a bit, okay? At the same time, while you're squishing the towel, now this is the tricky part, this is that coordination between pelvis and rib cage, is that you still want to have a little bit of a gap under your lower back. So we're not going to be going into that Pilates style one where we turn the lower back into the ground so that I can't get under there. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, just for the purposes of this exercise, we want to maintain a little bit of a gap and have that kind of S shape to the spine. So I set up, I've squished my ribs down a little bit, I've used maybe a towel, I've just rolled it up a little bit and put it through here. I'm using my hand. Now if I take my hand away, I can also check in and I can still get my hand under my lower back. At this point, some of you might be like, my neck is just on fire, it's just really tightening up. Have a little pillow and just raise your head up a little bit so that it can just rest and take some of the tension away from the front of that neck. Once you feel like you've got a little bit of this tension set up, now we get into some of the deadbug stuff. And the challenge of the deadbug is to maintain that tension that you've set up while adding in some leg movements or some arm movements. So if I add in a leg movement, let's go right leg up. I haven't shifted or lost anything here while I do that. Okay, that's not too bad. That's fairly easy for me, but for you that might be a challenge in its own right. So then I'll add another variable. So I'll bring my other leg in, and so now this becomes a little bit harder. I have to maintain some of that squish. Now I may lose some, but I'm trying to maintain. Still got a little bit of a gap in there. I'm like, okay, I won't be able to add one more, and I could put the hand in, and I could put the other hand in. And so now we're starting to look a bit like that deadbug. As this gets easier, you start adding another layer of complexity, and that would be adding a movement in. Can I do two things at once? Can I maintain this tension while I tap my legs up and down? And you can start to get the hands going as well. And so this whole time while I'm here, I can talk comfortably. This is somewhat effortful, but I'm not at my max effort. I'm not doing like a rep max deadlift here. Still breathing, I'm still making sure that I can breathe 360 degrees, and we've got another video for that. You check out breathing flexibility. If you want to add a weight to your hands, you could gently lower the weight until you feel like you're about to lose that tension that you've created through the abdomen, and then you come back up. So we've got lots of variations here that you can add in. You could hold the weight and you could bring it sideways and learn to control that. You could even drop legs out to the side. As it gets easier, you can start adding in some length to the legs. And out in these directions, now the lever is a lot longer, a lot more load, and I'm still trying to maintain this tension through here. As soon as I feel the technique fall apart, I lose the tension here, I can't get it back, that's your cue to have a rest and stop. So you might find that you're going as long as like 5 minutes. Try and find a work duration that's somewhere maybe between 30 to 60 seconds. And if you can exceed and go past 60 seconds regularly, then you might just need to make it a bit harder and add in more variables. More variables being maybe another limb, or adding a weight to your hands, or maybe having someone next to you and you have to talk to them. That's another sort of coordination. You're kind of dual tasking there, doing 2 things at once. Or you could be turning your head around. You know, you could be in here, left, right, could look up and around, all these sort of things. There's no wrong or right way, but at the core of it, you're trying to maintain this tension through here. A few sets of 30 to 60 seconds, 2-3 times a week. If you get lots of reps and sets in there at a low level intensity, then you're going to be more inclined to benefit from that because you're learning a new skill. So we're not necessarily looking to build abdominal strength. It will happen, but we're trying to get new skill development, new motor learning. And the ground is a nice environment to sort of begin that journey. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.